Good afternoon, everyone. It might be some evening for some of you as well, or even late into the night. We have Game 4 between the Eastern Skippers and the Perfect Unadulterated Gaming Squad, otherwise known as the Pugs. Shadyforce versus Danty in this Game 4, and Shady has chosen Swordless as the mode. My name is CM. Joining me in just a little bit will be Furious Prince, having a little technical difficulties, but he is on his way. And we'll have a great Game 4 matchup. A little bit of no swords today, which means that all-important hammer. Got a couple of bows and a couple of boomerangs in our hash today, so that's always the double-double there. I mean, we'll get early bow. Yeah, should be fun. We are in the semifinals, so the winner of this match is going to the finals. So a lot on the line here. And here we go. A vanilla lamp. I mean, as vanilla as it gets. Yes, I know the speedrun doesn't pick up that particular lamp, but that is the location that the rest of us get it at when we play casually. Immediate lamp. In Link's house. The game tries very hard to make sure you can see in the dark because there's 2 other locations that lamp can spawn. Those of you that speedrun or watch speedruns are more used to it being in Zelda style. An arrow tree pull, not ideal. Oh, Danty getting a bomb drop. That's really nice. But we don't have that bow from the hash. Okay, they're both doing the uncle start, which is really interesting. Getting a mirror. It's probably going to be required. Certainly a nice thing to have early. And we get 10 arrows. Danty's route of going to the chest first. If you're going to save and quit out of this, maybe a little bit faster because you're not walking back as... No, actually, sorry. Shady's route is a little bit faster because you're not walking back out the front, but not a huge difference. And 20 rupees in the sanctuary. And now we'll head off, most likely to Kakariko. See, either one of them checks the lumberjack. Like Shady's just gonna go straight to the Lost Woods. Like Danty as well. And what do we have here? We have a glove. Early glove is nice. And the drop down is going to give us something. Is it going to give us something good? Cape. Okay, that's interesting. Nice item to have in Soulless to some extent, but not as useful because you can't use it at the same time as another weapon. Does get us into Castle Tower if this ends up being an Agaseed. We have a lamp and a cape. All we need is a hammer or a bug net. Bug net is logical here because we did the curtains will already be cut in a swordless seed. Hammer and bug net being our ways of deflecting the blue balls, or the not blue balls, I should say. All right, so each runner has a bomb. So we'll be able to do this check and hope to find some more bombs now before having to... Well, flute is nice. Also, you don't get to see Mire block deletion that often. Okay, there we go. There's some bombs. Bombs and a piece of heart. So that flute being the most notable thing down there in Blind's hut. A pendant at Tower of Hera. Looks like a red crystal at Eastern. Regular crystal at Desert. Arrows. See if we get something good here. Those arrows were not it. Okay, more money. So now we're gonna easily have bottle vendor money, so that's good. Boomerang. Piece of heart. Okay, we're already at silvers. Oh, right, this is Swordless. Never mind. That is the first bow. The bow automatically comes with silver arrows, so we don't have to find the second bow in the seed. Just bombs, very expensive bombs for the bottle vendor. Shady remembering to activate that flute. Danty has for the moment forgotten. It's a heart in the chicken hut. With bow and lamp, Eastern to Crystal, I imagine we're going to get some very early Eastern Palace plays. And there we go, Danty remembering to go back and activate that flute. All right, one more check here. No bottle for sick kid. And a red boomerang. Hey, we got all the boomerangs, so take your pick. Which boomerang do you want to use? Okay, let's see if we have to come back for anything in the library. Just arrows, never going to be entering there again. So they're both going to check this ahead of time. And 20 rupees we're not going to grab. And Shady going straight to Eastern Palace. Danty decides he wants to do a little bit of South Shore. They will undoubtedly flip these positions. Flippers for Danty. I like either one of these plays. Like, you have everything you need to do Eastern pretty easily. So it makes sense to go here now. It is a crystal. But, you know, I mean, there might be some nice things here in the South Shore to make it a little bit better. So I think either, you know, they're just gonna, yeah, like I said, they're just gonna flip it up once each one is done. Oh, full magic stun price is nice, especially in Swordless, having, you tend to need that magic a little bit more. We're gonna use some arrows to kill these mini Moldorms. Mini Moldorm showing how bad their hitbox is. Money, more money, bottle, bombs, and a hammer. Okay, that all-important hammer. The hammer kind of does the bulk of the work in Swordless. Very good to have that early. Also, that'll give us Dark World access as soon as we have a Moon Pearl. And Danty gonna flute away, not gonna... Oh, I guess he's just gonna flute over to Ice Rod Cave. Doesn't quite have enough money for Zora, so probably doesn't want to go to the Zora area without it, since we can get all the things there. Very nice Stealthos room from Shady. Ice Rock Cave just with 10 arrows. Not very useful. Danty already has that flute out, so not going to follow the flippers right away, I don't think. And a blue mail for Shady is certainly a nice luxury early on, especially in Swordless. Never mind. Danty is indeed going to do some of the flipper checks. Maybe, let's see if he does all of them. Let's head it over to... No. Let's see what's on the island. This Peace Heart, won't be picking that up. ₹20 in the big key chest. Just a single rupee from the man under the bridge. I expect a flute from here. We'll see if he goes to 8 or 5. Or 1. Wants to do the mountain. Yeah, also perfectly in logic with that lamp. Can't do a whole lot here. We don't have the mirror or the hook shot to go anywhere, but you know, just these 2 checks we're gonna get. The old man and then Spec Rock Cave. We'll get to stare at the item on Spec Rock. Oh wait, we have a mirror. Never mind. We can go do Hera right now. Although Hera's a pendant. I don't know. A little curious that you would head over this way for the pendant when you have a full clearable Eastern Palace first. So it'll be interesting to see what, if any, of Hera he chooses to do. We do also have East Death Mountain. Again, these are all things that Shady's going to do, and of course, I don't see a world. I mean, unless... I mean, I guess if you get Moon Pearl here, you have Mire, you have Bow, you have Hammer, so maybe Danty's plan is to try and pair up Pod with Eastern. Save a little bit of time that way. The biggest question is, what do you do with Hera? If this were a crystal, you just do it, but it's not. So we're going to see what Danty chooses to do. Shady, meanwhile, gets on the board with his first crystal out of Eastern Palace. And we'll probably basically be following the route that Danty's been going right now. And we do have pendants at Skull Woods, green pendant at Turtle Rock. I want to say the other red crystal was Pod. Green pendant probably not going to be a factor today, but you never know. See if Danty can score anything big over here. Mitts. Okay, Shady saving and quitting after the Saha check. Okay, Danty gets a big key and chooses not to go on. I'm a little surprised he opened that chest if he wasn't planning on climbing with it. The thing about that chest had to have a key. It's just a question whether it was a big key or a small key. Fortunately, it was the big key, so if we do want to go back in, we can. Shady gonna show us back of escape. Blue cane, the map, and the small key. So it looks like he's gonna take... Yeah, I'd take that small key and go to Dark Cross too. And Danty showing us why Spiral Cave is awful without Boots and Sword. Boots actually wouldn't make this any better if we had him because no sword. Just 20 rupees on that Spiral Cave. Dark Cross, just a heart container, and a save and quit out of Shadyforce. Okay, this will probably be South Shore for Shady. Meanwhile, we'll be in Paradox Cave for Danty, hoping to find a Moon Pearl, because then he could do all the Death Mountain stuff at the same time. Suppose he could do Super Bunny Cave out of logic. You don't see that very often. I like how Danty just leaves the bomb there. Unfortunately, only hit one of the mold worms. There's our Moon Pearl. Okay, so now he can go ahead and do the Dark Death Mountain stuff too. Nice bomb. Nice combination use of the bomb and the bow for Shadyforce in the mini Moldworm cave. With no medallions, there's really no extra incentive to open up the portal into where Turtle Rock is, and we hope never to go into Turtle Rock. It is a pendant. It'll make sense that he goes through Super Bunny from the bottom. We already saw the man under the bridge. I think he has just a single rupee, and we're gonna see Hookshot Cave from Danty here. We're not gonna see Hookshot Cave. We don't have a hook. We don't have a hookshot or boots. There's something on the floating island though, because he's going for it. It's just a bombos, which we may or may not need. Does give us Ice Palace. Does not give us Turtle Rock, which is fine. We don't want to go to Turtle Rock. Let that Ether Medallion be in GT, and we'll just never have to think about it. And Danty walking back over towards Hera, so he might just be going ahead and finishing it now. Or it could be going over to the desert area. We're going to do a quick one-off Aegina check. Danty not going to go into Hera, is going to finish this off with Spike Cave. Does have the cape, so should be able to get through this. Two very kind of sort of one-off checks here. Ice Rod for Shady. Oh, and Danty didn't make it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, Ice Rod. Hopefully not needed. I don't think Shady's done the map check in the Dark World yet, so doesn't realize how, you know, I'd be pretty excited to get that in an off location like that, and then you find out that you probably don't need it. Okay, is Bombos for Misery Mire entry. Oh, Daaanty taking a death from the Murder Dactyl. Those things are brutal. On green mail, it's what, 3 hearts or 2 hearts of damage. Danty still hasn't done Eastern. Could do the Eastern pod combo at this point if you wanted to. Really, you know, that blue mail would have been nice. Of course, it's not like he knows that it's blue mail. But I'm a little surprised. He can get the Eastern pod combo and just do it all right now. But wants to do this other stuff first. Can do Misery Mire with the silver arrows available for Vitreous. It's not a bad play at all. Also, knowing that you have the medallion you need is really nice. So certainly checking this area. But it's going to be a very dangerous Misery Mire with 6 hearts and green mail. But perhaps not going to actually do it right now. Gonna at least check out Desert. And chat rightly pointing out that we don't have Boots or Hookshot. Can't go in anyway. All right, joining me now, we have Furious Prince. How you doing?
Tired. I'm so sorry that I took so long.
You know, sometimes the computers just say no, right?
Very interesting seat so far.
Yeah. Very interesting routing. I would say Shady doing a slightly more conventional route, getting that Eastern Palace play done early, and Danty just not wanting to go over there.
Yeah, feeling a little linear in the way the seat's trying to push you.
Yeah.
In that early 5-6.
And Danty's kind of saying no. I'm not following the linear path. I imagine he'll get to Pod Eastern pretty soon, though.
More than likely. These 2 teams in a game 4 in a semifinals is definitely saying, all right, I think I know my opponent. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, ironically, it's you know, we have the Eastern skippers in Shadyforce, and he went straight to Eastern, and Danty's the one saying, nope, not doing it. Now, this is going to be an interesting. Oh no, we have silver arrows. It'll be a very easy landmill fight.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a lot easier than without it. In a
Hammer landpo is just absolutely awful.
Yeah, no rods, no swords, just hammer and silvers.
Yep. Okay, Shady gets his Moon Pearl. Has not gone into Hera yet, which is significant because there are mitts in there.
Yeah, and I think that works out in Shady's favor because deciding not to go and do Dark World kind of saved Daaanty there on the mountain.
Yeah, I want to say that I don't feel like there was a lot. The Combos was over there, I think, which, you know, Shady will need at some point. Shady's going to go ahead and go straight over here to Hype Cave. And maybe even just go do Pod.
Yeah, when you have that much available to you, other than Shady not having those mitts, the Dark World's just wide open now.
Yeah, I kind of like... That's the thing I would say. I like Danty's play better of checking at least the first 2 chests in Hera. At the time, he didn't have the Moon Pearl, so, you know, that could be there. We'll see how long it takes Shady to get to those mitts. Now, they are mitts, and, you know, if there's not a lot behind the mitts, that could easily be advantage Shady.
No, not at all. Just a little bit more ease of access to navigate the Dark World, but really no real advantage to it.
And it just depends on where some of the other things are. Let's see, what do we need? We definitely need the hookshot. We don't apparently need boots. Since that desert was full clearable without the boots, there was a compass on the torch. So unless there's something behind the boots in one of the bunk locations or a big key on the torch, sadly we may not get boots. Although in Swordless, I will say this: if you're not going to get boots in a seed, let it be a Swordless seed, because Swordless running without a sword, not nearly as much fun. You can take a lot of damage hitting your enemies and such.
Yeah, boots are always something that you want to look for, no matter what seed it is. But specifically in something like this, where you know that you're gonna have to go to GT and it might be right there on the torch. Finding that ice rod there in Agina's cave.
Yeah, that ice rod is just it's. Again, we're just gonna hope we never have to worry about that ice rod. Both runners have it. Both runners, you know. Well, Danty probably doesn't feel good about picking it up as Shady did, but, you know, Shady's probably not feeling so great about it now that he knows he shouldn't need it. Here, Danty's gonna go ahead and make that Pod Eastern play.
Are you saying that you don't like hammer trinecks on a green pendant?
No, I'm saying I don't like doing pendant dungeons. Played nothing in the dig game there for Shady. It's gonna Mire and probably walk up through Kakariko and go into, or flute to Kakariko, even better. No, fluting to no, he's gonna go do Pod. Okay.
Yeah, and I really like this from Danty because now he can just combo in Pod and Eastern together. Shady already having to skip through through Eastern, having already done it, but not a bad play by Danty at all.
Yeah, I mean, for Danty, he's going to be able to do Pod and Eastern together, like you say. For Shady, I don't think it makes much of a difference whether you do this now or choose to do, say, Thieves Town now. Both are full clearable. Pod's going to have one extra item for you. Thieves Town's a terrible go mode item. Or, sorry, terrible go mode dungeon. Pod is sometimes really good in go mode, but often the big key's in a bad spot. All right, looks like there's some technical difficulties going on, but you know, it's pods. There's gonna be a bunch of small keys in the front anyway. Looks like Shooter Room had a small key, so we'll keep going. And the
Just
map
a
in the big
burrito.
chest. So we might have a non-small key over here on the right side. Okay, hopefully we'll get them back before we see what's over here on the right side. Okay, our other non-small key is the small shield there. Okay.
That definitely doesn't feel good.
Nope. Okay, so what you're trying to do here is throw the bomb so it'll hit the switch. I think maybe Danty was planning on falling down after throwing the bomb, because you can do a nice little strat where the timing is really good. The bomb goes off and you can get past the blue block. But his health was kind of low by the time he actually got to that point, so...
Yeah, at that point it's just a question of, do I want to take it on 3 hearts?
Yeah, well, it would have been... Yeah, because he would have lost 1 more heart. Danny's gonna pick up enough rupees here probably so that he could do Zora later. Imagine Shady will do the same.
There's both small keys in the back, so there's possibly an item or the big key in Harmless Hellway.
Yeah, Harmless Hellway would... If this were only 2 keys on the HUD there, then Harmless Hellway would have a key automatically. But since there's 3, there's a non-small key item. Hey, it's a sword. The green 20s representing where the swords would be. Yep, Shady also picking up the rupees so that he can be guaranteed to be able to do pod when the time comes. Sorry, not do Zora when the time comes. And a piece of heart. And there's our big key in the last possible chest. So this was not a go-modable pod anyway. And a hook shot, a very important item. Now, we will need that for Swamp Palace. We might need that for Misery Mire, depending on where the boots are. Also gives our runners Hookshot Cave.
Always feels nice to find a Y item in a big chest in a rando.
Yeah, this is a pod layout too that you're just not going to feel bad about because you know your opponent's going to have last location and done all the same things.
Yeah, seeing that big key, your first thought is, okay, there's nothing I could have done better in here that my opponent couldn't have beat me to.
Yeah, chat pointing out, yeah, we don't need a fire rod this seed necessarily. We'd like one because Cold Stare with a fire rod is much better than Cold Stare with a hammer. But yeah, we're looking for Arcana Samaria. And yeah, for no mode. I say no mode because Shady still needs to get that Bombos out of, I want to say Super Bunny Cave. And the bits out of Hera. Oh, Floating Island. Thank you, chat. Also, Ped basically dead. We know Arcana Samaria can't be there. The niche boots required for GT with boots on Ped would be your only option for that. I don't think we're going to see that here. Yeah, I think Swamp is going to be the next play for Shady. Danty has a few more choices. He could go into Misery Mire. He could go into Ice. Now, going into Ice without a cane, not anybody's favorite thing to do.
Well, Shady will also have the big red bomb available to him after this dungeon anyways.
Yes, he
so
will.
That's another available option.
Also, we still have Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts to do, so I definitely would say advantage Danty here, because it might be a while before Shady gets up to the mountain. for the things that he needs there. Now, that Cane Smaria can be in a lot of places, so until we find the Cane, can't really say who's in the lead.
I'm hoping for Book on Pedestal to have the boots locked behind one of the tablets.
No, that's a chat thing. Let chat come up with those crazy ideas. Okay, that's a second crystal for Shady. Danty frozen for a second. And Danty is going to go ahead and do Eastern Palace now. He'll get that. The only thing of note here really was the blue mail, so that'll be nice. It actually gets a blue cane here too. Yeah, I mean, if Shady can manage, if the cane is like in a bad enough location that he and Danty can get to it at about the same time, with going back to Hera being the next play after that, then he's fine. Unfortunately, we don't know where that cane is. He needs that cane to be deep enough that Danty's not going to get to it significantly soon.
Yeah, it's got to be in one of those locations that you go for first try. Left side swamp probably being the most prominent one.
Yeah. If Shady could get a left side swamp cane, that might be really good. And maybe Danty could say skip that location because he's got a lot of other really good options. That's the kind of thing that Shady needs at this point. But these things do happen.
Yeah, some races do come down to I have too much to think about that I skip this one location and it just happens to be go mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Shady in Thieves Town now. This will be new checks for us. Danty going through Eastern. Getting his Eastern pod combo that he wanted. Another good spot for Shady would actually be Hookshot Cave. I don't see Danty going and doing Hookshot Cave until after he's done all his doable crystals.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave is one of those where if you feel like you have to go up towards TR and you're being bottlenecked there.
Yeah. So whereas Shady will, he'll do everything that's not mitts locked, but then he'll have, when he goes up and does Hera and gets his mitts, he'll already have the hookshot, and Hookshot Cave will be right there with all the other stuff that he has to do. So.
It definitely would be an advantage Shady at that point.
Yep. So he's got a few outs, but still, until for now, I'm still gonna call this an advantage, not a lead. Those are different things, but an advantage for Danty.
I 100% agree with you. Those mitts just makes it that much more of a world for Danty.
Okay, Danty gets his piece of heart. Yeah, we'll see where Danty goes next. If he decides to do Thieves Town, or if he decides to go to, I imagine Thieves. See, without the cane, you don't really want to do Ice Palace. You don't really want to go into Misery Mire, but those are plays you can make. But Swamp Palace is kind of nice if you can try and get a late Swamp Palace, so that you have a better idea of whether you want to go in for that left side or not.
Yeah, Swamp Palace here though, just you're already in the area, you have everything. I'm fairly confident both these runners can do a bomb diver down.
And bomb diver down is pretty irrelevant. It's only a few seconds. It's the but Ice Palace not without a cane. Oof.
Yeah, Ice Palace without a cane is not.
It's the left side play. Like I like to put off Swamp as long as I can, so I can make a good decision on whether to go back in or not. And we're double frozen again. Well, while we're frozen, we do have Iceman, our tracker, always our MVPs. Uh, of the items on their personal streams, we are going to go ahead and restart and see if that'll fix things. So just hang on and we'll get it right back. All right, Shady in the blind fight. Looks like Danty about to head into Thieves Town. All right, now we're moving again. The unsung hero here, that red shield in a blind fight when you only have the hammer. Actually, a nice thing to have here. The blind has the map. All right, we'll see what Shady chooses to do next. Yeah, Chad asking about use of blue cane. Yeah, blue cane is a really good item to use. You can't, without half magic, you can't just turn the blue. But you can use it strategically. And so what I like to do in a situation like this is I'll save it for the more difficult part of the race. Also looks like we're going to restart again. So just hang on. I wonder if we got a mushroom. We're off and running again. Nope, looks like Shady just wants some potions. Not a bad idea in this mode. You got a flute to get there easily. Looks like it'll be the swamp play from Shady.
Yeah, not a bad play. Do at least acknowledge that Shady did find that mirror shield probably in Thieves Town.
No, because yes, I know he had the red shield when he was doing the blind fight, so he got it after that. Maybe one of the other build checks?
Probably. We apologize, folks, for the technical issues.
Yeah, it looks like we got some people pulling up the actual restreams, or the streams of the runners. We appreciate those updates. Yeah, chat suggesting boots on Pendant TR laser bridge. Well, for that to be relevant, we need a big key on the torch, because desert is not boots locked. Okay, and Shady gonna go into Swamp Palace, which, you know, for him, not having those myths, not having those other options, this is a good play for him. Looks like Thieves Town otherwise had a whole lot of nothing.
To the questions in chat, myths were in Tower of Hera in the cage chest, or cage item.
Yeah, the very first item you look at. There was a big key allowing climbing if one wanted to, but Danty chose not to, and Shady just completely skipped Hera altogether. Shady's been to East Death Mountain, but did not do Hera, since it is a pendant.
Yeah, the Moon Pearl was on Eastern Death Mountain, so both the runners have been over there. Shady just decided not to do Hera at all. Very nice fight there by Danty.
Shady needing lots of things. We'll see if he chooses to do left side first. Danty only go -1 with that cane. If he decides to do Swamp, he might just go straight to the back. And hopefully find the item on his path.
You're honestly bringing up a great point. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just to say Shady is going to go to the back, even though he needs a lot of different things. But yeah, you go ahead.
You're bringing up a great point that the cage in the map chest in Tower of Hera basically overworld, similar to how most people view Skullwoods or the front to Thieves Town.
Yeah, I personally don't like to think of Skullwoods as an overworld check is a bit overrated to me in a non-Key Sandy mode. Because you only have 2 items out of 8 spots, and you can't even get to 3 of them a lot of times, so... but Thieves Town, yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's another sword. A sword, not sword. But yeah, I agree with that as far as Hera goes, is those 2 locations. No, there is definitely something on the left side. So we see that compass. I don't know if we saw the map or not. We did see the big key, so we don't have to worry about the big chest. And here Danty is going to be doing some things that, you know, if the cane is just here in, say, Swamp, you might never have to do these smith checks that Danty is doing right now. Shady can do some silver arrow straps. We've seen a lot of this in the swordless matches, using the silvers instead of the hammer. The only real worry here, since we're using quick swap to do it, just don't go one too far on that quick swap.
Yeah, you're playing with fire at that point.
Yep. Well, there's book's not on pet. There's your book.
Sad face.
Which gives Shady a couple extra. It might get him up to Death Mountain.
Although people are seeing that book in chat and immediately screaming for pet check.
Nah, it's too far out of the way. If we had to do Skullwoods, I think you go to Bombo's tablet right away. And I think that's exactly what Shady's doing. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Danty didn't find anything in Hammer Pegs or the Smith. Is going to go ahead and turn in that purple chest.
Yeah, it's not a bad decision. You're already right there. Follow it up with Swamp. He'll find his book and also do probably Bombo's tablet.
So for those of you that are not familiar with the swordless mode, the way the tablets and medallions work. So if you have if the thing you had to do, in this case the tablets, requires a master sword, then you need to have the hammer for it. If it's a medallion you're using, which only can be used at medallion spots, so they're scattered throughout Ice Palace where they're needed, so you can use Bombos and at the entrances of Turtle Rock and Misery Mire. You don't need anything, you just need the medallion, so you don't need the hammer to open up Misery Mire, say. We are going to get that pyramid check from Shady. And then, you know, I think at that point his choices become... he can go in and do desert. You might do that, because he's got that book. But his choices beyond that will be... go up back to the mountain for Hera, and... like for him, it'll be it's 4 checks. There's an extra item in Hera he could go after. There's the Ether Tablet, and we never did see Spike Cave. So it'll be interesting to see if I imagine he'll do desert first, though. Danty is going to go ahead and decides to swamp first. That cane just means more for Ice Palace, and of course it's hard required to do Mire.
We missed the first few minutes of this race. Did either runner go and do escape at all?
We've only seen back of escape.
Okay.
So this would be a good time for Shady to do it if he wanted to do front. That's a medallion. It's not the medallion he needs, but he doesn't know that, so he's going to grab it. In fact, it is the medallion that you don't want, because it'll get...
Maybe required, maybe not.
It's not going to be required. I mean, our go mode is Kane. Kane is, you know, or Shady will have Bombos go mode with the hookshot cave, you know? Nice blue goo. And another sword. It's kind of vanilla. Yeah, we're going to see escape here. So all this kind of a check like this, I mean, this might be a long time before Danty does this check. And Shady's already, I think Shady was, was one of them did back of escape. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was Shady, in which case he doesn't have to do Dark Cross or anything like that. Yeah, chat agreeing with me, so good. My memory isn't completely awful. And we did see map and small key in the back. So these will all be items.
Yeah, not a bad play. You have the mirror. It's fairly quickly to get down here. Chad also saying that if the cane is here and escape, then it's going to be very bad for Danty.
Oh, for sure. And then the question is, after Shady does this, does he mirror out and continue this over to, say, Catfish? Or does he go ahead and do the Desert Palace that he can do? Or does he follow that shovel? Because we always love a shovel. Everybody loves a good fetch quest.
I feel like if you're Shady, you probably head over to Desert just because it's a crystal completion. It's easy to get through. Shady doesn't know that boots aren't required for it just yet. So just getting that knowledge would be nice.
The one thing that might keep him away is that he doesn't know that it's not boots slop. So he might want to try and wait for the boots. And we get red mail. So
wow.
Okay, we're buffed. Red mail, and if you're gonna get red mail, you should get it in Swordless. And the fact that he mirrored says I think he's gonna go head over to do Catfish and maybe even cross the river and go over to Graveyard Ledge. Catfish, another location that would be really bad for Danty.
Yeah, check Catfish, Graveyard Ledge. You can also, since they have the cape, do Bumper Ledge too. And we're skipping Catfish.
Yeah, he could go back for it. We'll see.
Yeah, they haven't done Zora just yet.
Yeah, he could go and follow this all the way to Zora. Do Catfish and Zora together. And save, say, Bumper Ledge for if you're going to make us play over to Skullwoods. To answer chat, no, we did not ever see Spike Cave. So Shady's got 4 items over there in the mountain if he wants to go that way. One of them we know is Mitts. We don't know what the other 3 are. Yeah, Mitts are in the first check of Hera in the cage basement. Okay, that book for Danty. So it'll be interesting to see if Danty just decides to do some of these overworld checks, or if he heads over to, say, Ice Palace or Caneless Mire. Caneless Ice, you can still finish. So in some ways it's better. Oh, he's going to go for the left side. Whereas, he really wants to get the cane before going into Mire or Ice, and I don't blame him. I mean, Ice Palace is just 1,000 times better with Cane of Samari, and of course, Misery Mire you can't complete unless it's there, if you go in there.
Yeah, disagree with this play either. Left side swamp would just be so isolated. Trying to get back there after the fact would take a little bit of time. Not a bad play by Danty. And if it's here, Shady's gonna have a real disadvantage.
You know, I always say about left side swamp, it'll get you either way. It'll get you for doing it. It'll get you for not doing it. There's no good answer for it. So, you know, you just got to kind of judge it each time and hope you make the right decision. And, you know, sometimes you're going to make the right decision. You know, sometimes you're not.
Meanwhile, Shady is going to do Hera and Catfish, Zora and Catfish together.
More locations that would be bad for Danty. Meringue, nice thing to have when you can't reach that switch with a sword. Piece of heart on the ledge there. We won't be getting that. And this is not the answer. Those are very expensive bombs.
Yeah, just to make things go boom triple.
Okay, so Shady's options are go to desert with that book. It's like he's got the hammer out, so maybe thinking of something. Okay, no, he's got the flute out. Go to desert with that book, which would be fine because that'd be progress. He can go to the Skull Woods area, or he could go back up to Death Mountain. Is gonna do the crystal he can do first. He doesn't know he can do this, but he's gonna be very happy to find out that he can. Maybe a little you know, it's kind of a mixed blessing, right? Nothing on left side, by the way. Because yeah, you're happy you can do this because it's a crystal and you want to be able to do it, but a little sad because, you know, when desert is boots locked, it means you're gonna get boots at some point. Again, though, with Swordless, if there's ever a mode to not get boots in, it's definitely Swordless because the dashing just doesn't work the same way without a sword.
Yeah, I feel like there's two main modes that boots might never appear in, and that's Swordless and CrossKeys.
Oh, CrossKeys without boots is terrible. I mean, I'm not one that liked the Pseudo Boots edition this season, but I want to find my boots. Typically after I clear Kakariko, because once you're past Kakariko, tracking is much easier.
Danty heading over to ice to do that first.
Sense. Yeah, this makes sense because it is the dungeon you can clear. So even if if the cane's here, great. If it's not here, then you can still clear it. Not having the fire rod in some ways sucks more because the cold stare fight becomes a lot more difficult because you're doing it with just the hammer and not with the fire rod. But Danty and Shady, both experienced runners, will be able to do that. So I'd be. Of course, finding the fire rod would be a mixed blessing if you find it before the cane. Just because it opens a few things up. It doesn't open. Yeah, Turtle Rock we don't ever have to worry about again unless some weird boots things happen. But it would open up all of Skull Woods. We'll follow Danty for the moment as he goes into a dungeon we haven't seen yet. And then we'll see what Shady chooses to do after he finishes up this Landmo fight.
Oh no, Danty!
Yeah, I mean that's when I first learned the Ice Palace bomb jump. This was pre-Icebreaker. I used to fall a lot more often after the bomb jump than before, but usually it's a little later than that spot.
I learned the Ice sorry, the bomb jump earlier this year, or I guess last year, and I think I've maybe used it once and have never used it again.
Yeah, it's still a must-have strat though, because you know the game sometimes just puts the Canis Mire in Ice Palace, in or behind it. Okay, now Shady's got some really awful choices to make. Are we fluting to 3 or are we fluting to 1? Or we're fluting to 4. Oh, dig spot. Okay. And dig spot gives us the wrong red thing. Okay, are we going to 3 or 1? We are going to 1, so this is good for Shady.
To answer the question in chat, no, Danty has not checked Hookshot Cave. Neither runner had the hookshot on their first go up.
Yeah, Danty got the mitts up here, so you know a cane in Hookshot Cave would be huge for Shadyforce because he's going to check it. I imagine you do Ether Tablet, then you do Hera, maybe both. He might not do both checks in Hera because he will get mitts, and then he can come back to Hera if Hookshot Cave has nothing. Like my route here would be Ether Tablet, dip into Hera. If I get something in the first check of Hera, then I follow it. If I don't, I keep checking. Since it's mitts, I would go do Hookshot Cave and do the Dark Death Mountain stuff, and then if I didn't find everything after that, I would come back, do the second Hera check, and then do Spike Cave. So we'll see what Shady does.
Yeah, and I'm gonna...
But there's the case in Iced Tea, and that's go mode for Danty at 56-26. So yeah, this is now quite the lead for Danty.
Yeah, that cane changes it from an advantage Danty to lead Danty.
Lead, yes, absolutely. Because I still think Shady's going to do all the things I suggested. Is going to stay in here? No, he's not going to stay in here. Thought about it. I definitely think he would have... if you don't find the mitts there, I think you do the next check. And Shady can't even if he did just leave here, he would not he needs that Bombo, so sitting there on the floating island.
Yeah, at this point it just becomes how much time is he going to use here on the mountain?
So what Shady needs, and is only out at this point, he does have one major out, is boots in Hookshot Cave and a big key on the torch. He's not going to get sucked into Turtle Rock at least. Fire Rod would also be a nice item.
Find Fire Rod, boots on Mothula.
The Fire Rod is kind of significant because, logically speaking, if our big key is on the right side, you logically need that Fire Rod. I imagine both these runners will know how to bomb jump it and use the lamp if need be. Danty down to half a heart though.
Not sure what he was gonna plan on doing with that.
I think he was looking for. Yeah, the cape doesn't help him because you can't have it on and have the hammer out at the same time. He might have been checking his potions. Don't think anything was in those potions. So a Fire Rod here in particular could catch him up. Could give Shady a chance to catch up a little bit. I don't know that it would be enough. And Danty's just going to walk right back in here. And no, he's going to leave. Yeah, okay. So if you go do Misery Mire, and maybe you get a Fire Rod and come back.
Yeah, not a bad play.
Nothing in Hookshot Cave, though, sadly.
You've already cleared out most of Ice Palace. You now have Samara to do Iceberger to get back to Cold Stare quickly.
And he's going to buy... Yeah, buying potions makes sense. But he might, I imagine he might still do Misery Mire before going back into Ice Palace. It doesn't matter which one you do first, and Mire might have some nice things for you. Okay, looks like Shady's gonna flute away with that Bombos. It's head straight to Ice Palace.
To answer chat, Red Mail was down in Zelda Cell in Escape.
Yeah, Daanty's not getting red mail. And it does make this race closer. And Shay's gonna have to full clear Ice Palace, get that Canis Maria though. Whereas when Danty goes back into Ice, he's just gonna be able to Icebreaker it and get to the end. Yeah, Shady has potions. So he should be okay for Cold Stare.
Yeah, that blue from Pyramid Fairy, more hearts, red mail.
I think he bought one too. I think he's got 2 blues.
And yeah, Shady should be fine for this fight.
And, Danty, if he gets a Godmire, he's not getting anything out of this.
Oh, I think the only thing that you would want at this point, besides,
you want
Fire Rod boots. I personally would want half magic for later on.
Yeah, half magic would be nice. I'd want Fire Rod more right now. Make the Cold Stare fight free.
Yeah.
That half magic, the Bombos does its damage once, and that's it. So there are some nice luxury items, but if this is the big key, you're just gonna go. And you're not gonna get items. But it's the compass, so we have to keep going. So shoutouts to being able to do these jumps with the sprite like the Boo sprite.
Just a shout out to both these runners and their teams, because making it to this stage in the playoffs is not an easy feat to do, and they have just provided a great series for us to watch.
Oh, for sure. I mean, all the first 3 races, if you haven't seen them, watch them back. They all were, close races, with lead changes, like everything you would want to see in semifinals. And there's the big key, and I don't think we haven't gotten an item. So unless Vitreous has an item, there's a good chance Vitreous has a small key. That's a different way to set up that bomb jump. Unfortunately, I think the cane was an iced tea, and
You would be correct.
And he's gonna go all the way. Granted, you don't, this is typically how you would route this without a Canis Samara, is you'd go and do this right side stuff, and then walk your way back down, and bomb jump over to iced tea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is how Danty did it as well. So not a bad decision.
Yeah, I mean he's not losing time to Danty over on this, but he's also not gaining time. And he needs to gain a little bit of time somewhere. I mean, he's going to get, the fact that Danty has to go back and redo Ice Palace is going to give him some time back, but I don't think it's going to be enough by itself.
Yeah, chat's agreeing with you. Salty is saying anytime save in Ice Palace is purely going to be Cold Stare fights. And he's not wrong. Alright, Danty gonna make short work here of Vitreous.
Yeah, Silver Arrows makes this fight easy. This is one of the most variable fights in the game, depending on your item set. There's some very free Vitreous equipment sets, and some very not free Vitreous equipment sets. And the Silvers is probably the freest. Yeah. Yeah, Shady is remembering to do iced tea. It is one of the more skippable locations at Ice Palace, but you're go -1 at this point. It's hard to justify skipping this.
Yeah, definitely probably keeping counts on items, and there he goes.
Okay, that's that same condition. I will say it's go mode. I mean, there's still the one thing that could stop it, but also it will be interesting to see how practiced our runners are in the lamp bomb jump over in GT if it comes to that. Now, I mean, they both play entrance quite a bit, as far as I know, which is where you use that more often than anything.
Yeah, and
Pretty
this isn't
common
the
sequence break and entrance, so.
this isn't the first time that I'm sure that they've both played Swordless just in this league season alone. So I'm pretty sure they've been practicing all kinds of tricks.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, the trick I'm talking about has something to do with Swordless. It's the
Yeah.
if the big key is on that right side of GT.
Yeah, and without the fire rod.
Without the fire rod, it's not in logic to go there. So we have to do some funny lamp strats. Should be fun to see, actually, for us.
I think I've
It's also
seen it.
ironic because I know in I believe it was these two playing in game 1 where there was a big key on the right side, but they were missing the cane of Samaria. Oh yeah, and chat rightly pointing out that no boots makes that a much more difficult play because your timer is just just much shorter. So this could still get interesting depending on who's better at that trick if the big key's over on that right side. Shady doing a nice job. Is still got quite a bit of health left. Now he has red mail, so shoutouts to red mail. Danty is still not gonna have red mail. He's just on that blue mail. And for what it's worth, this was a Samaria locked Ace Palace, but considering Samaria was here. Yeah, that was that. For Swordless, that was a really nice cold stare. For Swordless, Fire Rodless. And he'll head over to Misery Mire. Okay, 2 blue potions. Danty should be fine here now. Does take a hit immediately though, so he might have to use that potion pretty early.
There's one puff.
He's just gonna use it now because I believe you still get 4 hearts of damage on the big puffs. Okay, now we're down to 1 puff. Big puff is 3 on blue. Thank you, Eri.
All right, and with that is our 7th crystal. So you know what that means.
I mean, chat definitely knows because they're putting the numbers in.
For those of you that don't know, we like to play a little game here. Once picking up that 7th crystal and heading up to GT, it is the Gannon's Tower guessing game. There are 22 locations in the basement of Gannon's Tower where the big key can be. We'd like to see your numbers thrown in the chat, and you'll win some fabulous internet points. Where do you think it'll be, Tracy?
Well, I always say 5, but we're gonna see if it. I'm definitely more interested in seeing whether we have to deal with the torch, whether we have to do it with the right side.
I usually go 13, and this time I think I'm going to go 8.
Fair enough.
Seeing a lot of 1s in chat. A lot of people want to see the world burn.
I mean, 1 or 3, depending on whether you're, if you do Hope Room first.
Well, without boots, you might go Hope Room, but I think you might be interested to see if it's boots locked or not.
All right. As we're about to enter, Shady will be about a mountain climb behind a little bit more because he's getting close to that Vitreous fight. And we are going to start with Hope Room. Small key. And just 10 arrows on the torch. So we don't have to worry about the torch. We still have those 5 chests. Sorry, those 4 chests over in the compass room. Now, of course, there's tile room as well. Which we can get to without the fire rod, of course.
So I think we have to acknowledge it. Feels bad for Shady.
Did he just mirror?
An accidental mirror, it looks like.
Oh, no. A quick swap getting him.
And at that point, I think it's now Danty's race to lose.
Oh, for sure.
That's also 7 checks for those still keeping count.
Yeah, I mean, Danty still already had... It was already his race to lose. He already had a pretty decent lead. But given Shady with the extra safeties, it was within, you know, a Ganon fight, so to speak. And, you know, and big key routing. Although there's not a lot you could do with big key routing given our situation with the right side. But yeah, this extra trip through Misery Mire is not helping. And we got the fire rod in GT, so that's not even an issue anymore. I miss that, looking over at that mirror issue.
So there's 9, 10, 11,
Magic's nice.
and 12.
All those things that we really wanted for Ice Palace just weren't available to us. And down goes Vitreous. Now we are gonna have to bomb jump this. Otherwise, we would have to walk a really long way on that path. All right,
16 checks.
Oof. And oh, I didn't think you'd be able to slide through that dead rock. There's 17 checks because we have just 5 left. Oh,
21.
Number 21. And the unfortunate part for Shady is he really can't gain time back going that way, because he would lose the
No.
time trying to bomb jump with the lamp. I mean, he could once he gets the fire rod and mirror out and go back that way, gain a little bit of time that way, but. We'll see what he chooses to do. Yeah, Danty with only 4 hearts here. Does have a blue potion. Chat suggesting that Danty would go into the fairy room, chooses not to. I mean, for the most part, I mean, his routing for the most part, he's gonna feel pretty good about, but with that Death to Cold Stare and a left side swamp play that led to nothing, he's probably not feeling ahead here.
Yeah, really, it's been almost perfect execution other than those 2 little snafus, but other than that, I don't think you could have really routed a better race.
Yeah, but, you know, with those, you know, you don't, as I always say, you don't expect your opponent to not hit, you know, your opponent always routed perfectly in your mind. It doesn't matter what the situation is, you know? So, you know, if you make those mistakes and your opponent took the same route, then you're just losing. So, yeah, I don't think he feels safe enough to take the time to get those fairies.
We'll definitely take that heart in the pot, though.
Yeah, for sure. To 3.5 hearts. There's anything else that Danty could be looking for, so I don't think he's gonna be opening up any of these chests. Does need to get the small key there. Like, for him, the only thing that'd be of any use would be the... I mean, boots at this point really don't do much for you. And, you know, suppose you could find red mail or powder to powder these anti-fairies would be okay, but...
Yeah, no,
we
know where the red mill is.
Yeah, he doesn't, of course, but
yeah,
there's so many other locations that we haven't touched. Because the only pendant dungeon we've seen any of was the one chest in Hera. Lots of places those nice items could be. Oh, no! Or you could pick up a piece of heart for a full heal. That clutch full heal. And we will have to do this with the hammer. We don't believe we ever saw the bug net, so... Oh, like the dream setup for a sword spin on the first phase, and you can't take advantage because you have to use the hammer. Oh, that feels bad. Okay, and suddenly we have Final Fantasy music. I thought this was... Super Mario stuff.
Good agonometry there on the last hit.
Is that in SMRPG? Is that music seriously an SMRPG? I did not know that. That's Final Fantasy IV to me. I'm sorry. Learned something new. I guess I do need to play that game. And as Danty finishes up Ganon's tower, Shady finds his big key and starts his climb. Alright, so it's going to be just like having Tempered Sword, only a terrible hitbox, as we use that hammer. 12 shots and 12 shots. Don't get to use the cape or anything like that for safety. Yes, Gannon in that really nice upper right corner. Just gets to wail on him for a little bit. And managed to get a nice 1-on-1 on hammer.
Yeah, so far perfect on his hammer shots here. To respond to someone in chat, yeah, the hammer equals Tempered Sword damage no matter what. That's why it's typically used on Moldorm when you only have a Fighter Sword or a Master Sword, because it's more damage.
He got 2 early arrow shots there, so that'll be good. There we go. Should do it. No, one more. Okay, you only got 1 shot in the early stage, but he'll get it here. There it is.
Get your GGs in chat.
As Danty finishes it up, gonna cross that bridge with an official race time of 1:21:56, and congratulations to the Pugs moving on to the finals.
Really fun race, really fun series. Can't wait to see what they do in the next round.
Yep, and gonna face the OK Dudes, who won the other semifinals against the Divine Beastie Boys. So that should be a really fun finals. You had Danty joining us. GG's, man. Congrats.
Yo, thanks. And this was... I don't even know how to feel about this. I kind of thought I was dead in the water with the mistakes that I made. Couple of costly deaths. I think 3 plus.
McColl's one being the big one.
Dude, I felt so bad, especially after wasting so much time trying to be careful. And it, like, as soon as I was entering Ice Palace, I was like, you should have bought a potion. Like, I'll be fine.
Yeah,
and then as soon as
all the nice things for Ice Palace, Kane was in Ice, and then Fire Rod and Half Magic both in GT.
Yeah, and then like literally as soon as I died, the first thing I thought was, you know, you told yourself last week you should have practiced this fight one more time just in case the Fire Rod wasn't there, and then I didn't, so here we are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I don't know, Andy's probably gonna give me a talking to.
Yeah, I mean, you had a little bit of a lead built up because Shady missed the myths in Hera. Speaking of Shady, you can come on in. GG's, man.
Yo, GG, Shady.
GG, Danty.
I mean, really good showing from you two. It just didn't, when you went to the mountain the first time, you didn't do any of Hera, and that was, you know. Oh gosh, did you just see that? The boots were
Yeah, that makes me sad too. When I saw that in the credits, I was like, well, okay, great.
We suggested that was the case.
Yeah, it was definitely discussed. It was like the you know how chat always likes their ped seeds. The one ped potential was the big key on the torch, but only half of that actually happened. So
Yeah, we talked about that before the race, didn't we? Like, oh, this is gonna be the scene where we go to GT, but we have to leave because of the boots this time.
Yeah, like we did say that, and I'll be 100% honest. Like, I never really felt good, but when I died to Cold Stare, the other thing I thought was, I must have been ahead and this is the swing. Like, because that's literally how the other 3 games played out. Like whoever was in the lead at like in the end game, it swung the other way, and I was like,
Yep.
"Oh God!" Like here we go.
Chad mentioned it the entire time. They says, "Is this where it all changes?"
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I guess in
Yeah.
this race, I was never ahead. Like once I skip the mitts, I'm just dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because of where the cane was. If the cane hadn't been behind the mitts, though, because Danty wasn't gonna get to those all those checks that you did. He wasn't getting to those. Like we kept waiting.
Overworld loop I've ever done in my life. It
Yep.
was so clean. I got 1,000,000 checks done in the minimum time. And all I got for it was ether on the pyramid ledge.
Yep.
And then when
that
ether
was it.
doesn't show up for Mire, I'm just like, even if it is because he'll skip all the Zora area and Catfish and Graveyard Ledge, and
Yep.
all those, he'll never do those things.
Yeah.
So, the saddest thing in my life was walking into Hera and seeing the mitts just there in the first chest.
Yeah.
And then the second saddest thing was when I heard the weird sound in the back of Mire. I don't know what happened there. I just heard a weird sound, and suddenly I'm at the front of Mire.
Yeah.
That was,
Yep.
that was the second
dang.
saddest thing in my life.
Unfortunately, at least that did not cost. I mean, that wasn't the difference in the.
Yeah, I figured.
You going into Mire, you actually had maybe a 3, maybe 5-minute deficit to Danty. That little mistake in the back of Mire is probably what was there, but you were really close the entire race.
Yeah. I mean, the real problem was like big key routing because of the fire rod.
Yeah.
There really wasn't a lot you could have done with big key routing to catch up. You know, because
Well-
unless you gambled on tile room and it was there, which it wasn't. It almost was. It's 21.
I mean, if you could do like the ultimate play, like the ultimate DM Blaine route or whatever, which I've seen Asder do against me, and it cost me, which is go right, left, and then right again.
yeah,
like-
he is one of the people that does that. After
I went right, and then when Fire Rod came up, like there was a brief moment where I paused, and I was like, I should mirror after this, and then I was like, no, that's stupid. There's 2 less checks now. You should do the rest of this. So then I went left, and then when I pulled the last chest, I was like, I wonder if like Shady's not done, but I wonder if he could do that too. I didn't know how like aggressive or
I don't
whatever
know.
Shady would be feeling.
I don't know if it would have been close enough if that would have brought him back. If taking out things like mirroring in bad spots, but certainly would have made it more interesting. Because I mean, it is with Swordless. Ganon fights are a lot less free. Although, Danty, you had a really nice Swordless Ganon there. Got that nice corner spot.
Yeah, that was the patterns were very favorable. I had a pretty mediocre phase 4. I was a little worried about that. GG's to Shady on the delay here.
Yeah, GG
but-
Shady.
GG's.
But yeah, like overall, it was just you've done Swordless Ganon like hundreds of times at this point. Just do it. You got silvers. You don't have to worry about him saying, "Did you find the silvers here?" and then go
Yep.
beeline that.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, remember when that was a thing?
Yeah, it was a bad time.
It was horrible.
But I'll be honest, I was pretty stressed out about this race. Like all day today, it was like subconscious, like, man, Shady's so good at this game, I'm probably gonna lose.
Oh, no. Don't yourself, dude. There's
I
always
mean,
But,
it's semis. You're gonna play someone good. So.
Oh yeah, like and it's like, there's expectation is like another thing. I know a lot of people have been like, oh, the pugs are so good, they're gonna win, and I'm like, I wish I wouldn't say that because they're probably gonna lose now that you say it. But yeah, like I love everybody on the Eastern Skippers / the spoilers from way back. All 3 of those guys are really great dudes, and I was really, really happy we got to go up against them this year.
It's been a really fun series. Like, just, I called the CrossKeys race, and that just the back and forth. I don't think I knew who was in the lead until Go mode. And in CrossKeys, Go mode is like 2 seconds, right? Because you just go
Right.
finish the one dungeon and finish, right?
I tracked that race, and it was just coming down so close. Yeah, fantastic series between the both of you guys, and I just love to see what happens between both teams going forward.
All right. So yeah, going forward. So Shady, this is your team's end. First of all, congratulations getting to the semifinal. It's really, really cool. What do you have to say to close your team out?
Yeah, it's been a good season. It's been fun. I think we, and especially I've had a very rough pre-season, but in the postseason, I think we've played well, and we're obviously came up against the Pugs this weekend. It was always going to be tough. But like back-to-back top fours in league, I think that's a really solid result. So I'm pretty
Absolutely.
happy. And now I can put my feet up and watch these gamers in the final, and I don't have to stress about anything, and I can just like cheer on and heckle and chat and stuff. So this will be
That's
great.
always fun.
And yeah, just so GG's again to Danty and all the Pugs, and best luck in the finals. I'll be watching, and it'll be great fun. Can't wait.
Appreciate it.
Danty, you still get to stress.
Oh yeah,
you'll be playing the OK dudes in the final.
I hear they're pretty okay at the game.
Yeah, so do I. I've heard that. A couple
You've got-
OK dudes, or 3 OK dudes.
You've got Hitsu, who's won this league twice. Ladder champion as well. You've got GGW, who's been a ladder champion. I think Teletar has 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like all 3 of them, very, very amazing runners.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough series. Andy has been saying on his streams constantly that if any of us play a game 5, like our teams, he wants it to be the finals for the ultimate sweaty, like train wreck gaming. And I mean, if we make it to game 5, fantastic. It's always a one game at a time. You can't look too far ahead, otherwise you like, I don't know, you just set yourself up to fail. But GGW against me and Casual Boots is going to be a very tough matchup, and then Telethar, really good CrossKeys. And Hitsu, you never know what Hitsu is going to do, right? So him and Andy should be a really, really good watch, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great series. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Hopefully I get to call one of the races. All right. Anyway, thank you guys. If you have any last words, now's the time, and then we'll go ahead and close this out.
Just thanks again. GG's again to Shady. Thank you guys for doing the commentary, the tracking. Furious Prince, Tracy, and Iceman, you guys are awesome. And yeah, we'll see you guys sometime next week.